Hi, hello. I wanted to talk about a very specific emotion that I feel like has the most negative reputation, and I'm not sure it deserves it. For the longest time, I had a very negative connotation when it came to anger. Like for me, anger, based on like experiences that I had, was nothing that could even be expressed in a controlled way. Like my only association with it was that it was purely destructive. There was nothing ever constructive about it. There was nothing helpful about it. There was nothing that could be built on anger. All it was just pain, destruction, uncontrolled, like primal, I guess, behavior, whatever you want to call it. And a lot of times, like the way we then try to fix that experience or like process it is we don't just associate that negative connotation with that specific person that expressed it that way or that specific scenario, but sometimes we attempt to fix it within ourselves. So even though you are not the one that expressed anger that way ever, you have such a set image on it being so negative and so painful that you don't even allow yourself to feel it, let alone like use it for yourself. And my opinion is that an emotion is just an emotion. It is pretty neutral, and what we build on top of it, or like the story we tell ourselves about it, or like that's what matters. Like that's what then leaves the imprint, that's what leaves the label on it, like whether it's good or bad. But I think in the first place it just is. But when all you know is that anger is evil and it's only caused harm to you or the people that you love or just people in general, like you see others deal with it, doesn't even always have to be something that happens in your circle or in your vicinity, but you just think anger is just evil, there's nothing ever good that comes out of it, that is the impression that you have, so you don't want any association with it. And you sure as hell don't want it coming up from within you, obviously. Like if you don't want it close to you, you definitely don't want it within you, because what do you mean now I'm having this evil, negative, destructive emotion coming up from inside me? Absolutely not. So like what do? You suppress it. Whenever an inkling of rage or anger or whatever comes up, you put the lid on it and you just try to make it go away as best as you can. And I think that's the biggest lie that we have hope in, or like the biggest lie that we want to believe, is that we're able to suppress emotion, that we're able to just decide what enters us and what gets expressed. And I don't believe that works at all. I believe emotion, no matter what it is, a lot of people have said that I didn't invent this term, energy in motion. It's not something static. It's not something that punches into you and then stays within you and you can just, I don't know, like suffocate it. Like it doesn't work like that. It's something that enters you from somewhere, you metabolize it a certain type of way, and then it leaves you. It's in its nature to enter and leave. Like that's just how it goes. Now where you come into play, because obviously you're not just passive in it, like even if it is just something that enters you and then leaves you again, you have a lot of control over how long it stays, how it gets expressed, is it going to be useful for you or not. But here's the thing, I truly believe that emotion follows the concept of the path of least resistance. I will put in like a very small description of what it is, but it's basically in the name. It will follow whatever release valve is the most available and easiest to go through. So the illusion of suppression does not actually help you make it go away. Like you can't just decide that it just like evaporates into thin air. No. What it will probably do if you completely refuse to deal with it at all is it will go through the path of least resistance, because it has to be released somehow. So what does that mean in reality? Like what does it actually, like how does it show up if it chooses the path of least resistance? That depends very much on you, but that's how people literally get autoimmune disorders, other physical symptoms, because your body's going to be under like so much stress, inflammation, endless rumination, because you might not deal with it actually in reality or like be confrontational about something, but then you might be ruminating in your head constantly over it. Or your anger might just become displaced, so instead of like expressing the anger because of the original situation, you might now just snap at random things, or your baseline level of tolerance for like anything going wrong will be much lower. Your irritability will increase. It will have some sort of effect on you. So then what can you actually do instead if it's not going away, if you can't just fully suppress it? Like what do? And that's where I think anger can be extremely useful. I don't think emotions come up for nothing, and I don't believe your negative association with it means nothing either. But it means, first of all, separating whatever image you currently have in your mind about anger from your own emotions. The way somebody else expresses them, the way somebody else feels them, has nothing to do with you. Anger, just as any other emotion, can be a great compass to figure out, has someone treated you unfairly? Are you in a situation that you need to change because it's not something that you can carry and your body is screaming at you to fix something? Is it a boundary issue? Like, are you constantly staying in situations that are just so incredibly unhealthy for you? Or maybe you can even be angry at yourself. It's not always something that somebody else does, but maybe you haven't been taking care of yourself in a way that you need to. So, something within you is kind of getting angry at you for not taking care of you. There can be a million different reasons for why you feel angry, is what I'm saying. And they're not all bad. They're showing you something. They're pointing you towards something. And I believe the best thing that you can do is stay close to the root. Figure out what it is about this specific situation, this specific circumstance that makes you angry. And then that anger can point you into a direction that is very useful, that can make you apply changes to your life. Also, anger actually can be a very activating emotion. There's a lot of emotions that can feel a little more slowing, or they can make you feel a little more withdrawn. And I feel like anger has this push that it gives you. It's very outward, it's very activating. So I feel like that's why especially anger can be so helpful in making useful changes for yourself, because it naturally gives you more of a adrenaline push and more of an activating push, which is why it can be so destructive. But it doesn't have to be. Adrenaline can be used for running, or it can be used for punching a wall, and I mean, the decision is up to you, and I would definitely not recommend you to punch a wall. But that's why it's so important to remember, anger is not bad. Anger is not evil. It can be healthy for you to feel that something is off. It can be helpful in giving you that activating energy to then want to go and change something about it. Don't demonize the emotion, and don't demonize yourself for feeling that. Now, of course, not suppressing it does not mean you can just go rogue and do whatever you want with your anger and that everything is justified because you feel anger and there's a good reason for it. Of course, there's always a level of controlled release. Obviously, we need to hold ourselves accountable in how we express ourselves. We're not going to go around and hurt other people or hurt ourselves. That's very, very important. But there is this middle ground. It's not about uncontrolled going rogue, and it's not about ignoring it, suppressing it, and just hoping it goes away. It's about making it useful to you, figuring out what it is that makes you feel this way in the first place, and then if you actually go about it in a healthy way, it will also change your image of what anger actually is. Because right now you may be still upholding that negative image of what anger is, and the more you approach it, it's like exposure therapy. It's the more you approach it in a healthy manner and try to gain some sort of advantage out of it, the less this current image will have power over you, the less daunting it will feel to release it in a healthy way, to even approach it at all, to even let it in the first place. The more you will go about it this way, the easier it will get, and you will figure out that anger is just that. It is just an emotion, and there's a million different ways to deal with it. You hold the key to how you want to use it, and I can only advise you to obviously use it for your own advantage. If it's already there, you might as well use it to your own benefit. And I was speaking specifically about anger in this one just because it's something that I was personally thinking about a lot recently, and I feel like I've had a whole 180-degree change about it, and so this is what was closest to me. But obviously this goes for any other emotion that you have difficulty with. For some people it might actually be sadness, allowing yourself to be sad because you're afraid of it. You're afraid of it's always something. But yeah, in your case it might be sadness, it might be jealousy, it might be any other emotion that you can think of that you hold a negative connotation on, about, with. You know what I'm trying to get at? And you can apply the exact same logic. It is not destructive by default. It can be destructive if you make it destructive, but it doesn't have to be. And at the end of the day, I want you all to be healthy. I want you to not hold on to something or suppress something or feel like you're less of a person because you have these emotions come up in the first place. Because I think it's very easy to judge ourselves for even feeling any of these negative emotions. That's why it's so important to keep repeating that emotions are neutral in itself. They're just there. They're showing you something, they're pointing you towards something, as I said, but they're not just positive or just negative. So whatever it is that you're feeling or going through right now, I really hope that you find a healthy release. Sometimes a healthy release can also just be voicing it, naming it, speaking to someone about it. It doesn't have to be this life-changing thing where you have to change everything about your life or your circumstances. Like, something is just that, allowing it to be there, speaking about it, writing about it. It can be anything, but let it in. Let it in. It's okay. You're not a bad person for feeling these things, and you're not a bad person for finding a healthy outlet for it. Thank you so much for watching. Take very, very, very good care of yourself. Stay healthy. Stay cool in this heat wave. I'm sorry this fan is going off. I hope you can't hear it, but it's the only way I can film right now. And I'll talk to you very, very soon. Bye.